Alright, welcome to Lesson 2 of Google Sites Made Easy. What we're going to look at in this one is changing the themes, colors, and fonts of the website, changing the headers, footers, and sidebars, and adding sidebar gadgets. So we're going to go back to our site. I'm going to go to my 3x3 waffle. I'm going to go to Sites. And I made this new one called Google Sites Made Easy. Alright, so remember our objectives are to change the themes, colors, and fonts of the website. So whenever you want to change the theme, color, and font of the website, your go-to place is going to be under Properties or More Actions. It's Manage Site. There's a ton of stuff you can do in Manage Site. This is where you have the themes, colors, and fonts. Okay, so in the left-hand side here, I've got themes, colors, and fonts. Alright, we've got our base theme was sunset. So if you remember in the first video, I said you can change that at any time. So I could change it to glitter, and it gives me a preview of what that would look like. It's very fun, maybe not ideal for a serious website. We've got schoolhouse, which makes it look kind of like a chalkboard. There's all kinds of fun stuff. This is one of my favorites, the Terra Sand. Okay, so that's right now the entire page is what I have selected. For the background, for the color, I have it set to the theme. If I change that to none, notice how that changed to blank. If I go back to theme, it has the theme's color chosen. Or I can choose my own color. So I'm going to choose something kind of drastic so it really pops. Okay, that's pretty ugly. Okay, for the image, the theme is chosen. If I say none, okay, that doesn't really make a difference because there really was no image in this theme for the background. But if I choose an image, and I'll just choose this one, okay, right now it's got this image, and it is set to repeat horizontal and vertical. I can say don't repeat it all, just have it one time fit in there, stretch to fit the whole image. Whoa, that's pretty big. Okay, I can set it at a fixed position so it's right there. Okay, or if I don't like that, I can just go back to the theme. The wrapper image, if I say none, that doesn't change anything because I do believe that this is just set for a color. We'll see what happens here. Okay. And again, the wrapper image has been set to repeat horizontally and vertically. I can just change it to none and stretch to cover, or put it in a fixed position. So again, if you notice, okay, I can always go back to the theme, or I can just clear all customizations that I've done to it and it goes right to the theme. Alright, the text. Right now the text is set to whatever Terra Sand theme is. So I can change the font to, I've got all these different fonts. Notice it does that. Okay, and I like that it lets you see what it's going to look like before you actually make any changes. Okay, so I can go change it to that. Right now the color, I can change the color to black. Okay, remember? And I'm working with the entire page right now. The link color, so if I have a link, I can make it right here. These are links. That's another page I had, the Google Sites calendar page. And I can change my visited link color to maybe light blue, so that once I've visited that, it changes. Now again, if I don't like these changes and I want to go back, I just say clear all customizations and it goes back to what I had. Okay, now we're going to look at our site header, which is this part up here. Right now the color is set at the theme. If I say none, okay, this stuff around here changes. There it's to the theme, or I can pick a color. Okay. The image is at the theme. If I say none, see how the sand went away? Or I can choose an image. Go to my standby here. This is probably not going to look very good. Okay, it's not, because that image, all you get is the top of Mike's head. So I'm going to say theme. Well, actually, let me go. I'm going to play with this. And notice it's always really easy to horizontal position, let's center it, vertical position, let's go to the bottom of the image or the center of the image. Okay, you can do that. No repetition. Okay, so watch what happens when I turn off the repetition and turn it back on. See, it repeated right there. But I'm going to go back to theme. Content area. Alright, that's the stuff down here. So I've got my background. Right now the color is set at the theme. If I say none, you don't really see any difference there. If I turn it to yellow, this part turned yellow. The image, none. Okay, there is no image there. It's just the color that was chosen by the theme. That put it right there in the content. And I can say no repetition. Okay, go back to theme. Page title. Okay, the font right now is set to the theme font, but I can change it. So that was this piece right here where it says home. I'm going to change it to something a little more obvious. There we go, home. The color size, yellow. Made it yellow, and the size right now I can make it huge. Well, for that's a small font. I can make it bigger. Alright, I'm going to go back to my theme. Headers, which I don't have any headers in here because I've not changed anything in my page. If I wanted to type in text and change the font and the color and the size of the default text that I put in here. Okay. So far we've had themes, colors, and fonts of the website. Now headers, footers, and sidebars. So I'm going to go to the site, and to change our header, our footer, and our sidebars, there's a couple ways we can do that. First of all, I talked about page settings. So right now on this page I've got it showing the page title and showing links to subpages. If I say save, it got rid of the word home. Okay, I actually like having the page title show, so I'm going to click that back on. I don't like links to subpages because I like using these things over here. And I usually I'm not worried about adding attachments, but if that's something that you want to add to your page, that's probably a good thing to click on. And I'm going to hit save. So now home is back there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my headers and my footer and my horizontal navigation and my sidebar. So right now my sidebar is this thing right here. Okay, the way it's navigating right now is I only have 2 pages. If I go to this, okay, it's automatically organizing my navigation. If I click that off, then I have to tell it, if I say OK, there's nothing there. Okay, I'm I'm going to go back into navigation, and I'm going to add pages. And I have 2 pages on this site right now. I have my home page, and I also have add page, the calendar page. Okay. And I can switch the order of those on the sidebar. I can make one of them go off to be like a sub page of that. So I'm going to say OK, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, so I've got calendar and home. Right now it's showing navigation. Maybe I don't want it to say navigation at the top. I can actually change it. I can make it blank, or I can say cool links. Something like that, okay, or important pages. Anything you want. So if I say display title, I say OK. It's going to say important pages. Okay. I usually don't have a sitemap on there. My sites are not that complicated that I need a sitemap. And I'm going to put the home page at the top. I'm going to say OK. All right. Now if I want to add a sidebar item, let me check my objectives first and make sure. We're going to do that later. Okay. Good thing I have objectives. All right. Horizontal navigation. You might have seen some people's sites where they have these tabs across the top. If I just click in that space, I can add a page. I can add the Google Sites calendar. I say OK. I say OK. And it's up there. Now I can have boxes, or I can have tabs. This is what tabs look like as opposed to boxes. Not much different. Links. Okay. Okay, there's just no box around it. Okay. Those are the 2 that really kind of make a difference. If I click in the header, I can use the no logo, so I can get rid of the Indian head if I wanted to. Say OK. All right. I can click in there. I can use a custom logo, which is usually a small picture. This is probably not going to work well because that's a large picture. I say OK. See, it's huge, and so it's going to make my header giant, so I don't want that. So I'm going to say no logo right there. Okay. That's probably enough for that right now. Getting rid of it. Okay. Google Sites made easy. Custom footer. I can get rid of this footer. I can add things to there. Okay. If I wanted to, I can insert an image. I can insert links. I can insert a table. There's all kinds of things I can insert there. I'm going to say close. Now, right now, if I go to page settings, okay, those stay on there because I'm the owner of this site. All right, so let's look back at our objectives. I want to make sure I've got all those. I've got the headers, the footers, sidebars. Okay, let's say I want to get rid of the sidebar. Okay, I go into Edit Site Layout. I just click off the nav. I close that, and it asks, "Are you sure you want to delete that?" I'll say, "Yeah, I'll delete it." So right now, if I hit close, there's nothing on my sidebar because I got rid of it. But if I go to Edit Site Layout and I want to add a navigation there, I can add navigation. And now I need to edit it. I need to say what I want. I'm going to turn off the title. I'm going to add my home page. I'm going to add my Google Sites calendar page, and I'm going to say OK. So when I hit close, it's back. Edit site layout. I'm going to add a sidebar item. I can do a text box, and in that text box I can add an image. I can do, a lot of people like to do a countdown. So the event, this is the day everybody needs to wear crash helmets when they start driving on the roads. July 9th. Okay. 28 days. I hit close, and it's right there. Alright, so let me look back here. Sidebar gadgets. Let me show you really quick how to add an image. Edit site layout. I'm going to add another sidebar gadget. I'm going to add text here. So it's just going to be a text box over here. I hover over it, I click in it, insert an image. I'll just pick that one. I'm going to make it small. Okay. And if I arrow and then she was in 3rd grade then, which was 5 years ago, so 2010. I say OK, and there it went right there. All right, I think I have hit all the objectives.